My amplified unit, salute. Welcome to Amped Up Friday, the 1st of August of the year 2025. We got a big show for you today, and I'm not talking Paul White. I got you guys covered with everything you need to know in the pro wrestling world. SmackDown's preview for tonight, the go-home show to SummerSlam, just 24 hours away. I got AEW Dynamite's rating. I got NXT's rating. But I don't want to waste any time. No cold open teasers, no opening monologue. I want to jump right into the big story for today because it coincides with the series that we just concluded last night on the channel, the Unreal Review Series. The show over on Netflix that WWE has out, episode 1 through 5, exposing the business. Let's be honest, that's what this is. That's all this is. So we reviewed it, 3 separate uploads for 1, 2, and 3, and last night the grand finale, episode 4 and episode 5's a review. You guys really were digging the entire series. I appreciate that big time. I am glad that you guys were loving this series because I had so much fun making it. And I don't really know why. It's not like the show itself was so much fun that I couldn't wait to talk about it. But I think deep down, even subconsciously, I just knew that this series was going to validate everything we say on this channel. Everything we've been saying and everything we'll continue to say. And that's what this show did. It validated everything. From Tiffany and Charlie and what happened in that infamous promo. We called it on this channel during that SmackDown review. To Jey Uso being gassed and blown up and he can't handle the pressure. That's what they were saying in real time during that whole WrestleMania run. We were saying it from the jump. But we were too harsh. We're being negative. No, we're reviewing it honestly. Something you don't get in this community. Because we don't do it for clicks or views or more subs. No, we don't promote all of that. We promote the most honest pro wrestling channel you're going to get. The most honest reviews you'll get in this community because we have one goal in mind. Making pro wrestling great again. What a concept. But you know what doesn't make pro wrestling great again? You know what's a detriment, not a benefit? A show like Unreal. Take it a step further, right? Real talk. BC, how is it more of a detriment than a benefit? Well, I just literally dissected every part of this entire series. 5 episodes over the course of 4 separate uploads. Last night, we concluded with a double review, episode 4 and episode 5 of Unreal. So BC has gone over detail by detail how this is more of a detriment than a benefit. But let's take it a step further and go right to the horse's mouth himself, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Paul Levesque McMahon, because he continues, as always, to dig his own holes. He speaks nothing but in circles, word salad, and nothing of substance ever comes out. But, of course, utter stupidity. We all know stupid people in life, right? Maybe it's a family member, maybe it's a friend, maybe just an acquaintance. But we all know some pretty dumb people, right? You like them, maybe even you love them, but man, when they speak, you just stare at them like, wow, you're stupid. But you don't want the guy at the top of something we all grew up loving like WWF or WWE. You don't want the guy at the top, the boss, to be stupid. But damn, when this dude, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, says words, you gotta stop for a moment and even debate if it's comprehensible. Listen to what he's saying. He is telling you. He's trying to validate the purpose of Unreal. But all he really does is show you how much of a detriment it is. This is a quote from Helmsley trying to defend the purpose of Unreal being on Netflix. And I quote from Helmsley, I think in a world of transparency now, when you have athletes like Rhea Ripley, I love how that's the one example he uses, the entire roster. You got CM Punk, you got the John Cena's. I'm surprised he didn't go Charlie Flair, his other prized possession, but he's infatuated with Rhea Ripley. He's got this crush or something even. He loves Rhea Ripley. We talked about the awkward hugs and the awkward exchange, and we've talked about that. But, I mean, that is his example for so much. Anyway, when you have athletes like Rhea Ripley, who many see as a larger than life character. Wait, another timeout. Hold on. So he's using Rhea Ripley as a larger than life. Fans see Rhea Ripley as larger than life. Who? I don't think many dudes are going Hulk Hogan, Steve Austin, Undertaker, Rhea Ripley. Maybe there's a lot of females, though, actually, that may look at Rhea Ripley as their larger than life. Possibly. Weird example. Weird for Helmsley to be using Ripley. I digress. Let's keep going. So he says, I think in a world of transparency now, when you have athletes like Rhea Ripley, who many see as this larger than life character, going through highs and lows, pressures and doubts, and overcoming those self-doubts and those obstacles, I don't know how it doesn't make you appreciate her even more as a performer, or make you appreciate them more as athletes. End quote. So this show is to appreciate them. He uses the example of Rhea Ripley, but I just love that. I don't know how it doesn't make you appreciate her more. This is appreciate her more. And then he says, as a performer, or make you appreciate them as athletes, meaning everybody. So it's about appreciating them. That's what this show is about. I appreciate larger than life characters, performers, humans. That's what I appreciate. I appreciate larger than life. And that's where it ends. Period. That's it. I do not need to say, if I was growing up back in the day and Hulk Hogan was the guy like he was, and he was larger than life to all of us, even grown adults. If you were walking through a supermarket and Hulk Hogan's walking down aisle 5 and you're both looking at the same cereal box, you're in awe. I don't care what your age range was. That's Hulk Hogan, larger than life. Undertaker, same belt, and a few others, larger than life. Nobody back in the day would need to see any documentary or anything behind the scenes about how that's not who he is. That Hulk Hogan is a teddy bear named Terry Bollea. And sit down, and for the next 56 minutes, we'll show you his insecurities. Because this dude legit just said, and I quote, many people look at Ripley as larger than life. That's what he said in this paragraph. That's a quote. This was recent. This interview was recent. Many people look at Rhea Ripley as larger than life. So we wanted to show you, basically this is what he's saying right now. So we wanted to show you that she's not. That's what this is. That's what this is. He tells you that many people look at her as larger than life, so we're going to go ahead and expose that she's not. We want to show you her insecurities. We want to show you her self-doubts. This series literally had her admitting that she went through a 2-hour panic attack. Basically 2 hours of freaking out. Freaking out before last year's Mania. They had a whole little segment on it. And she's talking about how scared she gets and... Again, growing up, we had Hulk Hogan, thankfully. They didn't try to show you Terry Bollea and all of his insecurities and his self-doubts. They didn't have interviews where Hulk Hogan's like, I'm so scared before I go out. Oh my God, I needed my makeup artist and my wardrobe artist to help me out and calm me down. If they look at her as larger than life, isn't that a good thing? That is the difference between then and now. Then we protected the business, the characters, and the stories. Today, we expose it all. Because this company knows there's enough cool guy Kyles, right? Everybody knows a cool guy Kyle. He's the guy that storms around, right? He's just going around. He's like, dude, there's no problem with it, man. It's just a reality series, dude. It's kind of cool seeing everyone hang out backstage. It's not like we don't know that it's not real anyway. So it's like, what's the big deal, man? It's not even... Dude, it's not that serious. Cool guy Kyle, right? Not that serious. But after the shows, he's still clicking on BC and such because he wants more of what he loves. But he's trying to be cool about it, right? He's not an answer or a solution to the problem that pro wrestling is hurting right now. Pro wrestling needs to be protected more than ever before right now because too many people are so willing to expose it all. That's not a helpful part to the pro wrestling world or the community, right? That's not part of the solution. That's part of the problem. Cool guy Kyle. Oh, that's all right, man. I don't see the problem with it. What's the big deal, man? Kyle, I mean, we all know what's the deal anyway, man. We're just watching people hang out backstage, go over their matches. Is it just that? Because that is bad enough, actually. We don't need that in our face, man. We're trying to just find storylines on the program that are captivating. We're trying to find stories that we can even care about on the actual shows. You think this is the time now to just expose it all and show everyone hanging out? When CM Punk was talking to Seth Rollins, going over the Elimination Chamber of move by move, and they're hanging out and they're going over their match, was that beneficial? Don't you want some sense of like, we know that it ain't real, we know that they're all cool backstage, but man, Rollins has had that beef with Punk in real life and vice versa. So you can believe in a lot of what you're seeing, right? Your mind can take you there. So yeah, they're cordial, obviously. They're doing business. But man, you want to believe that there is some animosity there, though. And when you see they're just hanging out, going over the match, you can't not see that. You can't unsee it. And that's what I mean about it doesn't serve a purpose. Because now that the show's over and people can go, oh, that was kind of cool seeing them hang out. Now you can't get rid of that image. So if they ever want to do anything with Punk and Rollins in the future and they want to really lean on that animosity, well, you're still going to remember this. Trust me. I'm telling you from experience because I still can't get Mankind and The Rock going over their I Quit match, I think it was, during the documentary Beyond the Mat many years ago. And that sticks with me. So when I watch Anarchy in the Arena or No Holds Barred matches, I can't get that out, and that should not be the case. I should be fully invested in what I'm watching now. So I'm telling you, if you don't think that's going to stay with you, watch 10, 20 years, it's still going to be there, that image. Because you know all the magic now, man. You know how the sausage is made. But that's not even the biggest thing that this dude said. That's one of the most ridiculous things you can say, right? People look at these individuals as larger than life, so we want to show you that they're not. That's what he's saying. We want to show you the other side of them just because. Why not? Nobody gives a shit about the product anyway today. And then he says, this is a quote. Listen, this is wild. We're not exactly showing you everything, he says. And by the way, this is off, I don't even think I said this. First Take, ESPN. We're not exactly showing you everything, like how the magic is done or how the tricks are done. We're just showing you the behind the scenes and what goes into it. What the fuck? What? We're not exactly showing you everything, like how the magic is done or how the tricks are done. We're just showing you the behind the scenes and what goes into it. We're not exactly showing you the magic or how the tricks are done. What the fuck? What in the world? I cannot believe. I honestly think he says things and he believes his own bullshit. And he truly thinks that nobody will say anything about it. Like nobody will go, whoa, what? You're not showing how the magic is done or how the tricks are done. You're just showing the behind the scenes and what goes. Bro, you showed every single trick. All the magic. Bro, we saw multiple times wrestlers going over their matches move by move by move. Whether it's Rhea just telling Damian about her match later, or an entire elimination chamber, all the participants going over every move. To after the match, Kevin Owens and Cody in that ladder match, and Kevin Owens is all bloody backstage, and Cody comes back and he goes, dude, I'm sorry, the ladder was close, I didn't want to powerbomb you like that. And Cody's like, oh, don't worry, man, they're all buddies. Right after that volatile match. To everybody talking in the referee's ear. Hunter Hearst Helmsley, production, but even the producers. Even the producers, to the point where, are you ready for this? BC has been in many guerrilla positions. A lot of independents, some main companies. I've been in one main company that actually had producers on headset. One. And not even then did they call matches, basically. They talked to the talent maybe before and right after. That was it. In WWE, they showed you these producers are literally calling everything. Most of what you see in that ring is being called by the producers. The match producers. I didn't even know that. Not to that length. I didn't know they were calling basically full matches backstage. That's exposing the magic and the tricks. It's literally exposing the tricks. I mean, not even BC knew that the producers were calling that much and were in the referee's ear that freaking much. Because back in the day, you'd never see that. Macho Man went to Ricky Steamboat with 10 pages of paper calling out every move. Back in the day, no. And even when you started having match producers on the headset, they did not call it like this. That absolutely affects how BC watches wrestling, man. Knowing that much is being called on headset and not in the ring, it absolutely takes away from the wrestlers I'm watching. Makes me question what the fuck is theirs. It's so overly produced. It's true what they say. Sometimes you don't want to or shouldn't know how the sausage is made. This is one of those scenarios where why did we need to see that shit? Because you can't unsee it now. If it affects how you enjoy professional wrestling, you're damn right it's a detriment. Cool guy Kyle, I don't know, man, it's fine. I'm still going to watch like nothing, man. I'm going to watch it no matter what, because I take anything that Hunter Hearst Helmsley is serving. He says, bullshit stew, everyone, and I come with my wooden bowl and wooden spoon. I say, please, sir, can I have some more? Cool guy Kyle is the only one in the room that doesn't even understand he's the nerdiest guy in the room. He's the dumbest son of a bitch in the room. He's the guy nobody wants in the room. We're not exactly showing you everything like how the magic is done or how the tricks are done. We're just showing you behind the scenes and what goes into it. No, we've seen behind the scenes and what goes into it. We've seen those for years. We've seen the 24 series, WrestleMania 24, and they show you all the behind the scenes and Cody and his whole journey and going into Mania and the set and everybody's around the ring. We've seen that. That's far enough, by the way, but okay, that's doable. Then it started getting a little too much, and you started seeing The Rock break character and tell you that everything's a story. He wanted to make sure you know just how fake it all is. They started doing press conferences right after the show itself to break character. You guys remember that? The Rock did something in I forgot what it was, and that night, it was at like the PO, was it Elimination Chamber maybe even? And right afterwards, they go into the little media scrum bullshit, and The Rock is just talking about how it all came together. He's like, yeah, so what we did is me and Cody, we met over some drinks, and I said, I'm going to whip you once there, but then Cena's going to do this. Bro, it happened 12 minutes ago. Do you want to let fans digest it? Or do you want them to believe in none of this? Like, subconsciously, we can't even digest it to follow any type of story going forward. You're just going to tell us how all make-believe it is. Thank you. Yeah, tell us every detail, Rock. This son of a bitch the boss of the company went on First Take ESPN and said, we're not giving you any of the magic or any of the tricks. We're not releasing any of that. He gave you every fucking trick in the book. Everything. Every single thing that goes into all of this. which, by the way, isn't even rocket science. That's why I say this entire series was just a pat on the back and to stroke the ego of Hunter Hearst Helmsley. You guys see the segment where John Cena was turning heel, that they turned it into an entire episode of how amazing they are, how much geniuses went into this. They had diagrams, this person knew, then I had to make the calls to this person, and then what we had to do is keep it secret. I'm like, bro, you're turning a wrestler heel, cut the bullshit. You're not creating a cure for any disease, you're not creating some architectural beauty skyscraper in the middle of New York City that's going to be taller than any other building with a structure never before seen. You're not creating a new Walt Disney World. You're not creating a Marvel universe. You're turning a wrestler heel. And according to this numbnuts, nothing was exposed. We're just showing you behind the scenes. This is Gorilla. This is the locker room. This is where we make coffee. These are the bathrooms. This is the parking lot. This is the guy that didn't know who Jey Uso was. And that's WWE. Bye, everyone. See you in season 2. Or no, was the whole series watching everybody go over their matches and watching the producers call the matches and watching Hunter Hearst Helmsley every episode when he wasn't creepily hugging all the females, watching Hunter Hearst Helmsley as Oz. You ever see Wizard of Oz, right? He's the guy behind the curtain calling it all. And now we're going to pull back the curtain, he says, so you can see him be the star of the show. And then when fans, when it's all said and done, are like, was there a purpose to this? Even fans that didn't mind this, they don't see the long-term effect that it's going to have. They don't see it yet, but they will, because most of it's going to be subconscious. But even those fans were like, it wasn't that bad, but look, was there a purpose to it? No, probably not. Like, should this have technically been shown? I don't know, because there's not a purpose. Other than to show you that anybody that you might look at as larger than life, they're normal, just like you. They're just like you with insecurities and self-doubts, and they got to overcome it. Cool. Thanks for having a whole series on letting us know that nobody is larger than life. We already know that. You know how we know? Because we watch the actual shows, and nobody seems larger than life. So you might as well really make it known that nobody's larger than life. This is Rhea. She's just Dimitri, or Dimitri. Dimension? What the hell is her name? I don't even know. Dimitri? Dimity. I think it's Dimity. I don't even want to... what? Dimity Ripley. Dimity McGillicuddy. Dimity Murphy. Dimity Matthews. This is Dimity. She collects oddities and she has deep insecurities and she gets scared before she goes to the ring and she has to be calmed down. See, she's just like you guys, man. She's not larger than life. Stop looking at her like that. When she comes to the ring, just go, oh, hey, Rhea, hey, girl, hey, Rhea. It's just Rhea. She's not that badass. She's just putting on an act. That's Dimity. She was real scared probably before she came out. She was just probably being calmed down. That's why she came a few seconds after her music played. She was just being calmed down. Yeah, no, she's the opposite of a badass. She's a cute little cuddly teddy bear. I mean, dude, at least be honest, man. Be like, yeah, we're going to show you the magic. We're going to show you how the tricks are done in this series. And I know it's going to be controversial, but, give it a chance and, come to your own conclusion. Just be honest, man. But on national TV say, no, don't worry, everybody. We're not exactly showing you everything, like how the magic is done or how the tricks are done. We're just showing you backstage. We're just going to show you backstage. We're just going to show you backstage and everything that happens in it. What else would be left? What does this numbnuts think is left? What do you mean you didn't show us everything? What do you mean you didn't show us the magic or the tricks being exposed? What else is left? What are you saying, dude? What We've seen it all. Nothing else goes into it other than the stuff they don't want to show, which is the backstabbing and the politicization that goes into it. And we know that Helmsley is the worst when it comes to all of that. Oh, that's the series I would like to see. How you did R-Truth dirty. How you did Test dirty. And China. And everybody else. The Booker T's and so many others. How many times the Golden Shovel came out and how you used it. Oh, that's the series. That's what we'd like to see. That's what he means. But yeah, that we're not showing you. Helmsley can't stand that he can't wrestle on the shows. He can't be the star of the show. So you know what he did? He created a show where he can be the star of the show of the show. Do you realize I have my cup of coffee and this dude's on First Take. I'm like, shouldn't you be in the office trying to give us a creative product for once? Dude's on First Take. That's all he does is podcast, interviews, voiceovers, narrations. He does not like being in the office and actually working. Like Vince McMahon would be in the office 25 hours a day. That's right. Do the Steiner math. He hated coming out of it. Just business, business, business. Now, yes, toward the later run of Vince McMahon, toward the later years, he was in his office for other purposes, mostly banging assistants and paralegals. I get it. But for the most part, McMahon was in there actually working. Helmsley can't be bothered. He's too busy playing superstar and trying to hang out with other celebrities and athletes. He's too busy trying to act like he's Vince McMahon, but doesn't want to do the shit that's needed to be Vince McMahon. This dude's on First Take talking about Unreal. You could have had anybody else doing that. Your wrestlers could have used some of that exposure. CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, or how about an LA Knight or R-Truth who should be getting pushed? Put your beloved Rhea Ripley on there, or your beloved Charlie. No. There's Helmsley. So you go do some errands, you go take care of business, you get a couple more coffees, you come back, you got about a half an hour, right? A half an hour before you got to head right back out and kick some more ass in the world. So you flip on the TV for a half an hour while I'm doing some notes on some stuff, and there's Helmsley again, standing behind the president. Standing behind the president. Just laughing and shooting the shit. That's cool, man. The president invites you out. Okay. But how did you get from New York First Take to Washington? When are you in your office? He's never in his... He doesn't care. So his goon squad writes up all these things on the marker boards like you saw on Unreal. And then he comes in and he just goes, no, I think I'm going to go this direction. Right? You guys remember the marker board said Gunther, CM Punk, WrestleMania. There it is. He went around the table. Everyone said Punk should win the Rumble because that's the match. Gunther, Punk. We all know that. Punk gets his WrestleMania main event, wins the title. This dude comes in and goes, well, what about, we're going to do Jey Uso. I'm going to put the rocket on Jey Uso. And then the whole freaking series, and then the whole WrestleMania season, they're doubting it because Jey Uso, they found out, sucks as a singles wrestler. Couldn't even hack it. Well, why didn't you... Everyone else had already made the decision while you were doing all the commercials and voiceovers and everything else in the podcast, and you waltz in and you just go, no, I'm going to go this direction. Jey Uso. What? That's what he does. He comes in last second and he just gives his take. And because he's the boss, that's the way it goes. This guy's never in the office. And then you see these shows and you wonder why they're not creative. Why are these shows not fun? Why do they seem like they have no pulse? Why is nothing making sense? Because this dude's just chilling with the president. He's going on First Take. He's the star of Unreal, which is just exposing the magic and the tricks behind the show. Cameras are rolling. I got to make sure I'm camera ready. The voiceovers and the commercials for Clash in Paris and all the other PLEs, when that could have been the superstars, his own roster doing those, they should be in those spots. This dude is just non-stop. It's the ego. It's everything. But he's got to cut. It's all about Triple H, right? The very first part of episode 1 This whole series kicks off with Jerry Lawler. There's a soundbite in the very beginning of episode 1 of Unreal. And Jerry Lawler screams out, "It's all about Triple H." How true those words are. And it's almost like it's a rib to put that into the final edit and to kick the series off with that. Because it really is. It truly is. And at what rate, at what length do we go to make sure that Triple H is the star of it all? He's willing to expose the entire industry as long as he gets to play superstar. So we'll go NXT first and then AEW Tuesday, Wednesday. Might as well go in order. That's looking a little better, no? Yeah. If you guys saw episode 1, or was it 2? Maybe it was both, of the Unreal review series that we did. BC was extra amplified. The coffee was flowing. The camera was rolling and BC was rocking. So we popped a few blood vessels in the bicep while doing the amplified biceps, as I still continue to do them. So it's looking a little better, though, man. It does not affect the gym. So we're all good there, man. Later this evening, we'll be rocking triceps. So we're all good. But it's looking a little better. I was amped up, man. I was ready to tackle this series. NXT this week got a 675K. That is down from last week's 747,000 viewership. No Undertaker will do that. I told you guys, at 747, they promoted The Undertaker, bro. You don't even see The Undertaker on the main roster anymore. So yeah, that's going to bump you a good 50 plus thousand, sure enough. That's a drop of what? Guys, that's almost 75,000 viewers. 75,000 viewer drop to 675. Now, if you go over to AEW, they went from 608K last week to 612 this week. That's only 4,000 difference, but it's upward, not backwards. So what that means is NXT went back 73, AEW went up 4. This now closes the gap to 63,000 viewers. 675 for NXT, 612 for AEW. Both are extremely low for a professional wrestling show on primetime television with the rosters that they have at a time where we're told business is booming, the industry is booming. That's not good. You don't need BC to tell you that. You guys know. Even if you're like, well, ratings don't matter, or you don't even like talking about numbers, that's fine. But even you know that's not good. 2 shows, back-to-back, Tuesday and Wednesday. 2 separate companies. And they're getting 675 and 612. Even with The Undertaker, you couldn't pop 750, 3/4 mil. I mean, because that was the expectation, you got to believe, right? We're popping 3/4, man. I know it was only 3,000 difference, but still, you didn't clinch 750. What I saw, I missed the first half an hour of AEW Dynamite this week. I was just on other business that I had to attend to. And I missed the main event on purpose. I heard that Ricochet was in it, and no offense to Ricochet, I think he's putting in some of his best character work, maybe of all time. I just didn't want to watch a Ricochet match at 10 p.m. because it did have the overrun as well. I wanted to see MJF come out for Briscoe, but I just wasn't feeling it, man. I didn't want to watch a Ricochet main event. I didn't want to, not that late. When I had so many other things to do, that's not how I was going to spend my time. I just didn't want. What they should have done is probably had Mox Hangman, because I actually got to see that match. And I would have watched it if it was the main event. It was a 26-minute match. You had a little bit of everything. The referee gets knocked down. The riders were out there, then getting taken out by security. All the false finishes you could have wanted. And then, of course, Hangman seals the deal. 26-minute title match. Athena pinned Toni Storm in a tag match. So it was cool to see them mix it up. And also Christian Cage with that stand-up concerto that he took. So what I was able to see of AEW, I actually didn't mind at all. For NXT, I don't remember much, actually, man. I saw a couple of segments, and I literally, I can't even tell you what it was. Wow, that's not a good thing. NXT has really been struggling, man. There's times where NXT gets really hot, I feel, and when it cools off, man. It's like not just cold water. I mean, it's ice water that they pour on NXT. Anyway, I don't want to go too long on it, man. That's your number, 675 NXT, AEW 612. The gap has now closed once again to about 63K. And then we move on to the SmackDown review, right? I think that's, I kept it. We talked way in depth about the Unreal series, so that took up a little bit of time that I was going to have for some side stories. So I think we're going to get right into SmackDown's preview tonight, and then we'll call it an episode. Sound good? So you guys can do what you got to do, watch SmackDown, and then we'll regroup, and we'll meet back up for the SmackDown review tomorrow at some point. Channel members will get that first, a few hours before, and then all subscribers afterwards. So swig your coffee, we'll get right into the SmackDown preview. You're not going to believe some of the names that are not on SummerSlam, and it's actually quite pathetic. All right, so on tap tonight for SmackDown, the 1st of August, 2025. It's all year is flying by, man. Summer's almost. Oh, what am I saying? Next month, that's a wrap on summer, man. Get the snow boots out. Does that snow boots? Does anybody own snow? I don't even have snow, do I? I have boots. Ass whoop boots. SmackDown tonight, Julia defends the U.S. title in a Zelina rematch. No SummerSlam for Julia in that title. It amazes me how you could say WrestleMania or SummerSlam is too big for one night. So now you have two nights. Bare minimum, there should be 7 matches on each. Bare minimum. No 5 matches. No, this is not a takeover. This is not Clash in Paris. It's not Backlash or a No Mercy. No, this is SummerSlam. People are paying thousands of dollars. If I was paying thousands of dollars, which I wouldn't for this shitty product, but if I was, and you're telling me I'm getting 5 matches, no, unacceptable. Give me at least 7. That is bare minimum. I'll be on board saying 10 or 11 might be too much. If you want to say that, I'm okay with that. But 5 and 6, too little. 7 to 8, even 9, I'm okay with it, man. But they should at least have 7. As of last check, WrestleMania, SummerSlam Saturday has 6. SummerSlam Sunday has 5 matches. Now, maybe in the last few days, maybe they added a match or 2. They have to. You can't just have a 6-match card on Saturday and a 5-match card on Sunday and call that too big for one night, because together that's only 11 matches. We've seen pay-per-view, we've seen Manias in the past that had 11, haven't we? Or close. At least 10. Maybe we've had Manias with more than 11 matches. So you're not too big for one night. You can change it to too long for one night. I don't know. Right. But then what? You're having a second night for like 2 or 3 matches. That's all you would need. You could easily fit 8 or 9 matches in one night. So you need a second night for 2 matches? I hope you understand. It's not too big. So you go back to, there's a purpose to all this. Unlike Unreal, there is a purpose to my conversation. Julia has a championship and she can't get on SummerSlam. Usually the tag titles are never on the pay-per-view. They're actually putting tag titles on the pay-per-view. At least the SmackDown one, right? That they're putting all the teams together. What a surprise. That's all they do. Every week, every segment, you will see all of the tag teams in one segment together. But at least they have a match on the pay-per-view. What a concept. And for the men's do the men's even have, who's the champions on the men's side? Viking Raider, Judgment Day gave him to the Viking Raider Experience Adventure. The Experience Adventure Vikings then gave it to the New Day. The New Day then dropped it to, back to the Judgment Day. Heels gave it to Heels. That's Hunter Hearst Helmsley's booking. So now Judgment Day has the tag titles. Are they defending it at SummerSlam? I don't know. It's not. I'm guessing they would, or maybe they're just going to be the post-SummerSlam on Raw. The post-Raw SummerSlam. Post-SummerSlam. It's been a long upload. Maybe they're just going to be on Raw defending. That's usually what they do. But you have matchups that still need to be penciled in. So put title matches on there, man. Like, I can't believe this. Anyway, let me wrap up this discussion. Julia's match is not at SummerSlam. She's going to be defending that title tonight. It's a rematch against Zelina Vega. If you're trying to propel Julia and you give her a championship, man, imagine if she had a SummerSlam match Damian Priest is going to take on Aleister Black tonight. They've had a little feud stemming off of R-Truth. Do you guys remember R-Truth, Ron Killings? Remember he was on top of the wrestling world a few months ago when he got released and organically everybody came by his side and he goes, absolutely not, to the point where the company had to bring him back? And the company should have rode that momentum, that wave, and instead they made him a third wheel in CM Punk and John Cena's feud, and then he was back at catering. I saw a clip recently where it was like a SummerSlam, like an event or something. There was an interview where Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez were doing like an interview or something. R-Truth comes up, and he tried to get into the Judgment Day again. And he was just trying to be funny, you know. He's like, is Damian still in the group? What about Rhea? Where's Rhea? And he said, where's Nick? And they're like, no, Truth, it's us. We don't need Rhea. It's us. So a little bit of comedy. Yep. And that's something. Helmsley knew what he was doing, man. He was pissed off. It was his ultimate decision. They said we have budget cuts and Helmsley decides exactly who. He's the chief of the content, creative, and the talent. He gets the final say. And then the numbers guys crack it all and they're like, all right, it's official. Truth is out. And then Nick Khan had to tell Helmsley, he's coming back. Helmsley didn't like that. If you needed more evidence of that, look how Truth is booked. Or should I say, not booked. All the momentum in the world. Just 2 months ago. All the momentum in the world. SummerSlam is now 2 nights. No R-Truth match. No R-Truth reference. Priest and Black is what you're getting tonight on the pre-SummerSlam card. Humberto and Garza. That is Los Garza, right? Isn't that their name? I don't even know. They're defending the AAA tag titles tonight in an open challenge. Is this what we're doing now? They can't even they can't even book their own titles, especially the tag titles, correctly. So now we're bringing in a new set of tag titles from a different promotion, and those are now going to be defended. Cody and Cena, my eyes started twitching when I said that, literally. Cody and John Cena segment, Cody Rhodes, John Cena, they're planned for a face-to-face segment. And Tiffany Stratton, Jade Cargill has a penciled-in segment. We don't have any details on it. Also to look for on this card, obviously the Wyatts have a big matchup because as we aforementioned, those titles are going to be up for grabs. Every tag team is going to be in a tables, ladders, and chairs match at SummerSlam. So we expect all the tag teams to be brawling tonight, obviously. LA Knight, I don't even know what brand he's on anymore. I don't know. They just gave up on LA Knight. LA Knight is not on SummerSlam as of right now. So if he gets on the card, it's going to be a last-second pencil in because SummerSlam's tomorrow. LA Knight, who had all the momentum in the world for 2 straight years, and Helmsley did nothing with it. The Julias, the R-Truths, the LA Knights. That's it, man. Does Drew McIntyre have a matchup, by the way? Yes, he does. Okay, he's in the Jelly Roll. Oh, by the way, so that's SmackDown. So I didn't see a segment penciled in for that, but I'm guessing, obviously, you're going to see Jelly Roll, Randy Orton, Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre, and their whole weird tag team shtick. So anyway, guys, yeah, there's some big stars that have no matchup, and there's still a couple matches that still can be penciled in. Give the audience their money's worth, man, and give the talent what they have earned. At the bare minimum, a spot on the card, man. I could see if it's 10 or 11 matches, that's too long. We don't want it to be 4 hours. I got you. But 6 and 5? Bare minimum should be 7 and 7. And if you got to squeak an extra match on one of the nights to fit in an LA Knight or an R-Truth, then do it. But at this point, is it so last minute that it doesn't make sense? The fuck you going to give LA Knight? What is R-Truth just going to magically have a SummerSlam match and we're supposed to care now? So does it even matter? That's the hole that Helmsley digs in, and then people get so like, oh, it doesn't make a difference anymore anyway. It's all botched. And Helmsley's like, oh, cool, we can move on. I guess that's the strategy. Be so bad for so long, people are like, that's where the bar is. I'm okay with it. Until next time, and there will be that next time. 44 dive, that's a wrap. BC in the unit, we're saying check you. Salut. SummerSlam is tomorrow. We got all the coverage, and it starts with SmackDown's review. Channel members, you'll be getting it first. Subscribers, 2 hours after. So we're going to kick off with the review, and hopefully, are we live tomorrow night for night 1 of SummerSlam? It's a good possibility. Salute, unit. See you then.